Dear learners of Standard 8, good morning and welcome back to my BGS Geography class. Hopefully, you all are safe and sound at home by the mercy of Almighty Allah. Previously, I had completed the chapter 9. Today, I am going to discuss or focus on a new chapter, that is chapter 10, Social Problems of Bangladesh. Dear learners, social problem exists in society and it creates adverse effect on the people, and few people take collective efforts to save the people. So there are many types of social problems in Bangladesh. Now we will know what is social problem. Social problem is any condition or behavior that has negative consequences for large members of people, which creates the social anarchy or restless condition in the society, and that is generally recognized as a condition or behavior that needs to be addressed. Social issues are those which affect the human society as a whole. These issues are pertaining human behavior, including government policies, religious conflicts, gender inequalities, and economic disparities, etc. There are many social problems in Bangladesh. In your book, in chapter 10, they are focused on two types of problems, that is juvenile offense, Kishor Aparadh or juvenile delinquency, and drug addiction, Madokashakti, are two major problems of them. At present, these two major problems are the concern of everybody. Now we will know what is crime, because these juvenile offenders sometimes create the crime. An illegal act for which someone can be punished by the government for doing the illegal work, that is a gross violence of law. These deeds, the deeds that are not generally recognized by the state or society, are called the crime. That is, when the juvenile offenders breaks the law and the rules and regulations of the state or the society, that time it will be treated as a crime. So these words are very familiar and popular to you, that is the murder, shoplifting, assault, arson, robbery, blackmail, mugging, and kidnapping. So look here, murder, if you kill somebody, that is the murder. Shoplifting, if you steal items from the shops. Assault, if you attack someone physically. Arson, if you deliberately start a fire. Robbery, if you take property unlawfully from someone or somewhere by force or threat. Blackmail, if you make someone give you money so that you don't reveal their secrets. Mugging, if you attack and rob somebody in a public place. And this is kidnapping, if you abduct somebody and hold them captive. So dear learners, this is the meaning of this word we should know, and these are also the crime. The vices or deeds that are treated as juvenile offenses are also the stealing, that is murdering, gambling, fleeing from the school, fleeing from home, adopting unfair means in the examination, that is also the offense, unruly activities in school and on the road, that is pickpocketing, beating, bombing, breaking vehicles, traveling without tickets, teasing, throwing acid, torturing women, then watching different types of obscene films, taking drugs, etc., etc. These works are the juvenile offense. and the juvenile offenders of our country are associated with these offenses. Types of crime. There are basically 5 types of crime. Violent crime, crime against property, victimless crime, white collar crime, and organized crime. So violent crime, physical violence or threat of violence. Crime against property, no person is physically harmed. Victimless crime, no harm to anyone except the perpetrator. So this perpetrator, that means a person who carries out a harmful, illegal or immoral act. White collar crime, these are by people of high social standing, that is fraud, tax evasion, toxic pollution, etc. Organized crime, that is large scale and professional based, that is drug trafficking, gambling, black market, etc. So small scale crime and large scale crime also. And in these types of crime, there are also the words, that is the vices that are treated as a juvenile offense also. So juvenile crime, different types of words. Nowadays our country's juvenile are engaged, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. So the deeds that are not generally recognized by the state or society are called the crime, and different offenses committed either by the immature boys or girls or the juvenile are called juvenile delinquency or juvenile offense. So most of the cases we see the immature boys or girls commit different types of offenses. These offenses treated as a juvenile delinquency. So juvenile delinquency follow. A juvenile is anyone under the age of 18 regardless of how each individual state defines a juvenile. So sociologists and the lawyers differs on the age range of juvenile offenders, and the age range will vary country to country. A delinquent is an individual who fails to obey the law, rules and regulations of the country, or the offender will not obey the rules and law of the state or country. Different offenses committed either by the immature boys or girls or the juveniles are called juvenile delinquency. The vices or deeds that are treated as juvenile offenses are stealing, murdering, gambling, fleeing from school, fleeing from home, adopting unfair means in examination, unruly activities in school and on the road, that is pickpocketing, teasing, taking drugs, etc., etc. So sociologists and lawyers differs on the age range of juvenile offenders. Follow, it will vary country to country. That is, offensive works done by the boys or girls between 7 to 16 years are called juvenile in Bangladesh, India and Sri Lanka. The age range of juvenile offenders in Pakistan and Thailand 7 to 18 years. In Japan, the age range will be 14 to 20 years. So juvenile offenders break the laws and the rules of the state and the society. That's why they are the juvenile offenders. Causes of juvenile delinquency. What are the causes that make the juvenile criminals or offender? Juvenile becomes offender for different reasons. Number one is the poverty. This poverty is the main reason of juvenile offenses in our country. Dear learners, the many desires or demands of the juveniles of poor families remain unfulfilled. For this reason, they suffer from frustration, and this frustration leads them towards offense. Lack of healthy family and social environment. The juveniles may also become offender if they don't get a healthy family life and proper social environment. Inability of parents to spare time for their children. Sometimes in modern era we are observing that the parents are unable to give the attention to their children because they are extreme business at their workplace and outside home. Then lack of this affection and caring, premature death of parents and their divorce, excessive punishment or monitoring of the parents are the cause of this offense. Sometimes we see the unusual conjugal relationship between parents and their bad conduct or behavior also sometimes make children offense prone. For want of proper recreation, that is, many young boys or girls become offender for want of proper recreation. The children who are associated with games and sports, music, drawing picture, physical exercise, different types of cultural activities normally grow up in a healthy manner, in a pleasant environment. But on the other hand, what happened? This recreation word is very important. On the other hand, those who are deprived of these facilities seek other path to get rid of mental dissatisfaction. It is they who later on get involved with different types of offenses. Due to the establishment of slums in the industrial areas of town, the slums environment and the many bad incidents of that place make the children offender. Sometimes we see in the slum area, the young children also get involved with offenses due to bad company and the poverty. The poor children become compelled to earn money, adopting many illegal activities at an early age, and they sometimes spend this money in gambling, taking drugs and watching the unfair movie. They get inclined towards crime in their attempt to earn money. Physical and mental problem or deformity creates inferiority complex in the mind of the children. This many may become criminals or offender due to this, because this mental problem, physical mental problem and deformity creates the inferiority complex in the mind of the children. Then again, too much emotion of genius may also sometimes make the children criminals or offenders, because the mental makeup of these children become more complex than the ordinary one. And for the change of parents work less frequently. Sometimes we see for doing the job, the parents need to move from one place to another. So those parents who frequently change their workplace, some of their children cannot cope with the new environment each time. They face a problem in selecting their friends or associates. In this way, many may become offender due to bad company. At present, another type of juvenile offense is seen in the society due to abuses of mobile and internet. Now, I will focus some other issues, that is family issue. Family plays a huge part in the development of an adolescent, both positive and negative. Adolescents learn what is and is not accepted by the surroundings environment and which is dominated by the family life. For example, if a father disrespects and hits a mother, then a son might consider this as acceptable and copy it later in his life. That means some parents also who are offender, bad-mannered, indifferent, incapable and absent-minded about family, the children also of this type of parents behave abnormally in the family and later on grows up as offender, and in their future life also they will copy it. Coming from a broken home through abandonment and divorce can be profoundly affect a teen's perceptions of life. Sometimes in these situations, a teenager or teen can be neglected, punished too harshly or not regularly disciplined. Any of these conditions can cause juvenile delinquency, as the teen has missed out on complete moral development. So moral development and the religious learning is very, very important to get rid of from the juvenile offenses. Outside influence what? Outside influences or other things out of anyone's control can be the cause of juvenile delinquency. Within society, there are several external forces that can lead an adolescent in the wrong direction. Drug use is becoming a widespread crime and concern among adolescents. And everywhere and each and every places of our country, this using of drug we are observing. Alcohol and drug abuse can lead a criminal behavior and as teens lose control to turn dangerous due to the effects these illegal substances have on mood, cognitive thought, and personality. Using this drug, that is, they lost the teen or the adolescents lost their mental condition, physical condition. They cannot think about their life, their society, their family. They lost their thinking power properly, and their personality also lost. Sometimes a teen has faced the hardship of a physical and mental disability, and society can be very judgmental of individuals with handicaps. Because their judgment can be impaired, these adolescents may want to get revenge towards those perceived as against them. So, their mental condition totally damaged. What they are doing, that is right or wrong, they don't understand or don't realize. Peer pressure and influence is a very powerful motivator in a teen's life. Teens are closely associated with their friends and associates. Sometimes a boy or girl will commit a crime because their friends have pressures on them to do it. At other times, an adolescent may be jealous of a friend who has more and is motivated to steal so he or she can possess the same materialistic item. Influence of mass media and technology. As much as parents try to protect their children from negative news and non-appropriate media, it is almost impossible. Teens are exposed to everything through social media and computers. Since knowledge is carried around in the palm of their hands, adolescents often have an inflated sense of independence. They are free and they want always the freedom. While it is true they have easier and quicker access to information, they don't understand the true meaning of being independent or are not mature enough to handle it. They want to get the freedom, but they have not enough realization power, or they are not mature enough to handle this freedom. So, easy access to information through the internet allows teens to read and view things that are not appropriate for their age. Teenagers are becoming more and more isolated, so they depend on technology as their main point of contact with others. As adolescents have left their home and enter society, sometimes they cannot handle the interaction that comes with living on their own. Having a job and getting along with others, this can trigger emotions and reactions they have not experienced in the past. This uncontrolled response is one of the causes of juvenile delinquency. So, dear learners, juvenile delinquency, this tendency of this juvenile delinquency or offense is increasing in Bangladesh day by day. So, next day I will discuss about the preventive measures of the juvenile delinquency. Today, up to this, stay safe and healthy at your home.